You are going to play Naruto in Dungeons and Dragons, and you are going to do it in a way that actually feels like Naruto at the table. Not a wizard pretending to throw kunai, not a monk who happens to wear orange. You are going to build a character whose turns feel relentless, whose presence on the battlefield multiplies faster than enemies can respond to, and who refuses to go down even when the math says you should be unconscious 3 rounds ago. This is not about perfect optimization. This is about capturing the specific feeling of playing a character who overwhelms through sheer momentum and refuses to let the fight stabilize. Naruto's core fantasy is not complicated. He floods the battlefield with bodies. He moves constantly. He takes hits that should end him and keeps fighting. He turns desperation into explosive power spikes that change the entire shape of an encounter. When you play Naruto in D&D, those 4 elements have to be present and functional, or the build fails. If you are spending turns setting up, you are not playing Naruto. If you fold under pressure, you are not playing Naruto. If your power curve is flat and predictable, you are not playing Naruto. The character demands constant forward aggression, and D&D has the tools to deliver that if you understand what actually creates momentum at the table. The mistake most players make when building Naruto is thinking he is a monk. Monks in D&D are mobile strikers who deal consistent damage through multiple attacks and have strong defensive abilities. That sounds right on paper. In practice, monks are fragile, resource-starved, and their damage falls off hard after level 5 unless you are playing specific subclasses with specific feat support. Monks do not flood the battlefield. They do not create the pressure Naruto creates. They move well, but movement alone is not momentum. Momentum is what happens when enemies have to make bad decisions because you have given them no good options. Monks give enemies plenty of good options. They are squishy targets with mediocre AC who rely on spending ki to stay alive. That is not Naruto. Naruto does not ration. He does not hold back. He does not spend 3 rounds building to a moment. He is the moment every turn until the fight is over. The actual engine that makes Naruto work in D&D is Echo Knight Fighter. Echo Knight gives you a duplicate on the battlefield that you control. It is not a summon. It is not a separate creature. It is an object that you can attack through, move through, and swap places with as a bonus action. The Echo has 1 hit point. Any damage destroys it. You can resummon it as a bonus action. At 3rd level, you can make 1 additional attack through your Echo when you take the attack action. At 10th level, you can make 2 additional attacks. At 18th level, you get a 3rd Echo. The Echo does not have its own turn. It does not act independently. It is an extension of you, and that is exactly what makes it feel like Shadow Clone Jutsu. When you play Echo Knight, you are not summoning a creature and hoping it survives. You are creating a position, pressuring that position, forcing enemies to react, and then creating a new position when they destroy it. The Echo costs nothing to resummon except your bonus action. You are not burning spell slots. You are not spending limited resources on something fragile. You drop an Echo, it gets destroyed, you make another one. The enemy has now spent damage and attention on something that you replace instantly. That is action economy abuse, and that is how Naruto fights. He does not care if you destroy a clone, he makes another one. The pressure does not stop. The threat does not decrease. You are fighting multiple angles every single turn, and the cost to suppress that is higher than the cost to maintain it. Echo Knight also gives you Unleash Incarnation. Once per turn, when you take the attack action, you can make an additional attack from your Echo's position. You can do this a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier per long rest. At level 3, if you have a 14 Constitution, that is 2 uses per day. That does not sound like much. It is enough. You are not using Unleash Incarnation every turn. You are using it when the extra attack changes the outcome. When an enemy is 1 hit from dropping. When you need to confirm a kill on a priority target. When you are splitting damage across multiple enemies to maximize pressure. The resource limitation forces you to make decisions. and making decisions is what creates the feeling of explosive power spikes. You are not a damage bot. You are reading the fight, and when the moment is right, you hit harder than the enemy expected. The Echo also lets you swap places with it. 15 feet, bonus action, no save, no attack roll, you just move. You can do this as many times as you want. The Echo can be up to 30 feet away from you. That gives you a 45-foot teleport as long as you have line of sight and your Echo is positioned correctly. You are not locked into melee. You are not kiting at range. You are everywhere. You pressure the backline, force saves, draw attacks, and then you are gone. The enemy swings at your Echo. It dies. You resummon it somewhere else. They have to choose between chasing you or dealing with the Echo. Both choices are bad. That is what Naruto does. He does not give you a good option. You are reacting to him. You are never setting the pace. The survivability comes from second wind and fighting style choices, but more importantly, it comes from how you force enemies to split damage. You are not a tank. You are not absorbing hits because your AC is high. You are absorbing hits because the enemy has to guess wrong. Do they swing at you or the Echo? If they swing at the Echo, you get a free turn of attacks. If they swing at you, the Echo is still there pressuring another target. You are creating a situation where damage is being wasted or spread inefficiently. When you do take a big hit, second wind gives you a bonus action heal. It is not massive, it is enough to stay conscious. That is the threshold. Naruto does not need to stay at full health. He needs to refuse to drop. Second wind does that. You pop it when you are blooded, you stay in the fight, and the enemy has to commit more resources to put you down. At level 5, you get extra attack. You are now making 2 attacks per turn as your action. If you use Unleash Incarnation, that is 3 attacks. All of them can come from your Echo's position. You are 30 feet away from the front line, and you are making 3 attacks against the enemy backline. You are not provoking opportunity attacks. You are not moving into danger. The Echo is the danger. The Echo is always in danger. The Echo always dies. It does not matter. You make a new one. The enemy has now learned that destroying the Echo does nothing. It is not a victory condition. It is not even a meaningful setback. You just make another one. The only way to stop the pressure is to kill you, and you are not standing still long enough to be an easy target. At level 7, you get Manifest Echo's ability to make opportunity attacks from the Echo's position. Any creature within 5 feet of your Echo that moves away provokes. You do not need to be anywhere near them. You do not need to use your reaction. The Echo uses your reaction. You are locking down multiple enemies at once because your Echo is not just attacking, it is controlling space. Enemies cannot disengage from it without provoking. They cannot ignore it without eating attacks. They cannot destroy it without spending damage on something you resummon instantly. You have turned yourself into a battlefield control piece that deals consistent damage and refuses to die. That is the baseline. That is what you are doing at level 7. The build gets stronger from here. At level 9, you can manifest your Echo as a reaction when you are hit by an attack. You teleport to its location and the attack misses. You get this once per short rest. It is not reliable. It is not something you plan around. It is an emergency button that lets you survive something that should have killed you. Naruto gets hit by attacks that should end the fight. He does not go down, he moves. He adjusts, he keeps fighting. That is what this feature does. You are not dodging everything. You are dodging the one thing that matters. The DM swings with the Dragon's Bite attack, rolls a critical, confirms the hit, and you are gone. You are 30 feet away. The Echo is where you were. It dies. You are alive. The fight continues. The secondary class that supports this is Barbarian. You do not need many levels. 3 is enough. You take Barbarian at level 4, 5, and 6. You are dipping for Rage, Reckless Attack, and a subclass feature. Rage gives you damage resistance to physical damage while active, increases your melee damage, and gives you advantage on strength checks and saves. Reckless attack lets you give yourself advantage on all attacks during your turn at the cost of giving enemies advantage against you until your next turn. The subclass you take is Path of the Beast. At 3rd level Barbarian, when you rage, you choose a natural weapon. Claws give you an extra attack as a bonus action if you attack with them. Tail gives you a reaction to add your AC by your Constitution modifier against one attack per turn. Bite lets you heal when you hit with it once per turn. You are not taking Barbarian because it is optimal. You are taking it because it creates the exact feeling you need. When you rage, you are harder to kill, you deal more damage, and you are attacking recklessly. You are giving enemies advantage against you because you do not care. You are going to outlast them. Reckless attack combined with Echo Knight means you are making multiple attacks per turn with advantage. You are fishing for critical hits. You are confirming kills. You are forcing saves. The downside is that enemies have advantage against you, but you are splitting their attention between you and your Echo. They are not all swinging at you. Half of them are wasting attacks on the Echo. The ones that do swing at you are hitting a character with damage resistance and second wind. You are trading efficiently, even when the math looks bad. Path of the Beast's Claws feature gives you a bonus action attack while raging. That stacks with Unleash Incarnation. On a turn where you are going all out, you are making 2 attacks from your action, 1 from extra attack, 1 from Unleash Incarnation, and 1 from Claws. That is 5 attacks. At level 9 total, you are making 5 attacks in a single turn. You are not doing this every turn. You are doing it when it ends the fight. You are doing it when the boss is low. You are doing it when you need to drop 2 enemies in one turn to stop them from overwhelming your party. This is not sustained damage. This is a power spike. It is explosive. It is decisive. It feels like Naruto going into a higher gear because the situation demands it. The tail option from Path of the Beast is your defensive mode. When you are low on health, when you are being focused, when you are in over your head, you rage with the tail, and now you have a reaction that adds your Constitution modifier to your AC against 1 attack per turn. You are also resistant to physical damage. You are also teleporting with your Echo. You are layering defensive tools in a way that makes you unreasonably hard to kill. The enemy has to get through your AC bonus, your damage resistance, your second wind, and your teleport. That is 4 different ways you avoid death in a single turn. Naruto does not have the highest durability in his setting. He has the most annoying durability. He refuses to stay down. You are building that exact pattern. The bite option is your sustain button. You hit with the bite attack, you heal. It is not much. It is enough to swing the math over multiple rounds. You are healing while dealing damage. You are not spending actions to heal. You are not drinking potions. You are biting something and getting health back. This is the mode you use when the fight is long and you need to outlast. When the party is low on healing, when you are the only frontliner and you have to hold, you rage, you bite, you heal, you keep fighting. The enemy is not reducing your health faster than you are recovering it, and that creates a durability loop that forces them to commit more resources than they planned. The ability score priority is Strength first, Constitution second, Dexterity third. Strength is your attack and damage stat. Constitution increases your hit points, your AC while unarmored if you take Barbarian levels, and your Unleash Incarnation uses. Dexterity affects your initiative and AC if you are not raging. You do not need high wisdom. You do not need high intelligence. You do not need charisma. You are not casting spells. You are not making skill checks that require those stats. You are fighting, moving, and refusing to die. Everything else is secondary. Your fighting style as a fighter is either dueling or 2-weapon fighting depending on your weapon setup. If you are using a single weapon, dueling gives you +2 damage on every hit. If you are using 2 weapons, 2-weapon fighting lets you add your ability modifier to the damage of your offhand attack. Neither of these is transformative. Both are fine. Dueling is simpler. 2-weapon fighting gives you more attacks but eats your bonus action on turns where you are not using Unleash Incarnation or Claws. Pick whichever fits your aesthetic preference. The difference is not large enough to matter. At level 10, you get another Unleash Incarnation attack. You are now making 2 additional attacks when you use that feature. At level 11, you get your 3rd extra attack from Fighter. You are now making 3 attacks per action, plus 2 from Unleash Incarnation, plus 1 from Claws if you are raging. That is 6 attacks. You are making 6 attacks in a single turn when you commit everything. The damage is not as high as a spellcaster's fireball. The damage is focused, repeatable, and attached to a character who is constantly moving and impossible to pin down. You are not a Nova class. You are a pressure class. Every turn you are alive, you are forcing bad decisions. Every turn you are making attacks, you are threatening kills. The enemy cannot ignore you. They cannot outrun you. They cannot collapse on you without giving your party free turns. The feat choices are straightforward. You take Polearm Master if you are using a spear or quarterstaff. This gives you a bonus action attack with the back end of the weapon and lets you make opportunity attacks when enemies enter your reach. Combined with your Echo's opportunity attacks, you are locking down a huge area. Enemies cannot approach without provoking. They cannot leave without provoking. You are controlling 15 feet of space around both you and your Echo. That is battlefield control that does not cost resources and does not require saves. If you are not using a polearm, you take Sentinel. Sentinel stops enemy movement when you hit with an opportunity attack. It lets you make opportunity attacks even when enemies disengage. It lets you react when an enemy attacks someone other than you within 5 feet of you. This pairs with your Echo. An enemy attacks your ally. Your Echo is within 5 feet. You make an opportunity attack from your Echo's position and stop their movement. You are protecting your backline from 30 feet away. You are not standing next to the wizard. You are fighting on the front line. Your Echo is standing next to the wizard. The enemy cannot reach your allies without going through your Echo first, and your Echo is not a wall, it is a threat. You do not take Great Weapon Master. You do not take Sharpshooter. You are not building for single target spike damage. You are building for consistent pressure and action economy abuse. Great Weapon Master's -5 to hit is not worth the +10 damage when you are already making 5 or 6 attacks per turn. You want to confirm hits. You want to spread damage. You want to force multiple enemies to make death saves instead of overkilling one target. Naruto does not one-shot people. He overwhelms them. You are replicating that. At level 15, if you have pushed Fighter to 11 and Barbarian to 4, you get another Action Surge, another Indomitable, and more uses of Rage. These are not flashy features. They are resource extensions. Action Surge gives you another full turn of attacks once per short rest. Indomitable lets you re-roll a failed save. Rage lets you tank more encounters per day. You are not a better fighter at level 15 because you have learned new tricks. You are a better fighter because you have more fuel to run the same engine. That engine is already functional. You are just running it harder and more often. At level 18, you get a second Echo. You now have 2 Echoes on the battlefield at the same time. You can attack through either one. You can teleport to either one. You can make opportunity attacks from both of them. You are controlling 3 positions simultaneously. The enemy cannot predict where the next attack is coming from. They cannot lock you down. They cannot avoid your reach. You are not micromanaging 2 separate creatures. You are controlling 2 anchor points that extend your threat radius. When one dies, you make another one. You have effectively tripled the amount of space you threaten and the number of angles you attack from. This is not the same as having 2 allies. Your allies have their own turns and their own priorities. Your Echoes do exactly what you need them to do when you need them to do it because they are you. The way this plays out in actual combat is simple. Turn 1, you move into position and drop an Echo near a priority target. You attack through the Echo. The enemy either ignores the Echo and eats attacks every turn, or they destroy the Echo and you make a new one. Either choice is bad for them. Turn 2, you use Unleash Incarnation and make an extra attack from the Echo's position. You are now applying pressure to two different enemies or confirming a kill on one. Turn 3. The enemy focuses you. You tank the hit with damage resistance from rage, or you teleport out with your echo. You make another echo in a new position. The enemy has to reposition. They are chasing you. They are not setting up their turn. They are reacting to yours. That is momentum. When the fight gets dangerous, when you are bloodied and the party is struggling, you activate rage with claws. You are now making 5 attacks per turn with advantage. You are dealing extra damage. You are resistant to physical damage. You are forcing the enemy to either kill you in one turn or accept that you are going to stabilize the fight through sheer durability. Most enemies cannot kill you in one turn when you are resistant to physical damage and teleporting out of danger. They try, they fail. You heal with second wind, you heal with bite if you are using that rage form. You are not winning through perfect defense. You are winning because the cost to put you down is higher than the value of doing so. The build struggles against saving throw spam. You do not have great wisdom saves. You do not have great intelligence saves. If the enemy is a spellcaster throwing out hypnotic pattern, hold person, or banishment, you are vulnerable. Indomitable helps. It is not enough. You are not playing a character who beats everything. You are playing a character who beats the things Naruto beats. Frontline fighters, swarms of weaker enemies, single target bosses who rely on attack rolls. When the enemy is a caster, you close distance fast and force them to deal with you in melee. Your echo can grapple, you can shove, you can lock them down and make their turns miserable. You are not shutting them down completely, but you are making them work for every spell. The build also does not have ranged options beyond throwing weapons. If the fight is entirely at range, if the enemy is flying and staying out of melee, you are limited. Your echo extends your reach, but it is still a melee build. You can throw javelins. You can use a bow if you pick one up. Your damage is going to be lower, and you are not leveraging most of your features. Naruto fights in close. He does not sit back. If the enemy is avoiding melee, that is a problem the party has to solve, not something you solve alone. You pressure what you can reach. Your allies handle what you cannot. The multi-class timing matters. You want Fighter 3 first for Echo Knight. You want Fighter 5 next for extra attack. At that point, you dip Barbarian. 3 levels of Barbarian gives you Rage, Reckless Attack, and Path of the Beast. After that, you go back to Fighter. You want Fighter 11 for your third attack. You want Fighter 15 for your third use of Indomitable and your second action surge. If you are going to level 20, you finish Fighter to get your second Echo at 18, and then grab 2 more Barbarian levels for an extra Rage and a higher Rage damage bonus. The exact split is flexible. The core is Fighter 11, Barbarian 3. Everything after that is refinement. The reason this build works when a straight monk does not is action economy. Monks make multiple attacks, so do you. Monks spend ki to do special things. You do not spend resources to maintain your baseline. Your echo costs nothing. Unleash Incarnation is limited, but you do not need it every turn. Rage is limited, but you are not raging in every fight. Your baseline turn is 2 or 3 attacks from your echo's position with full mobility and positioning control. That is better than a monk's baseline because you are not spending ki to flurry of blows. You are not spending ki to dodge. You are not spending ki to disengage. You are just fighting, and when you need more, you have the resources to deliver it. The multi-class also gives you survivability that monks do not have. Monks rely on high AC and spending ki on patient defense to survive. You rely on damage resistance, healing, teleportation, and action economy pressure. When a monk gets hit, they take full damage and their health pool is low. When you get hit, you resist half of it, you heal through second wind or bite, and you teleport out before the next hit lands. The enemy has to chew through more effective health to drop you, and effective health is what keeps you in the fight long enough to matter. The other reason this works is that it matches Naruto's actual behavior in fights. Naruto does not set up for 3 turns and then explode. He is explosive from turn 1. He creates clones immediately. He attacks from multiple angles immediately. He gets hit and keeps going immediately. There is no ramp time. There is no preparation phase. You drop your echo, you start swinging, and you do not stop until the fight is over. That is what the build does. You do not have a turn 1 where you are positioning and a turn 2 where you are setting up and a turn 3 where you finally start attacking. You are attacking on turn 1. You are applying pressure on turn 1. The enemy is reacting to you on turn 1. The power spikes come from Unleash Incarnation, Rage, and Action Surge. These are not cooldown abilities you press on a rotation. They are decisions. You decide when the fight needs more damage. You decide when you need to survive a dangerous turn. You decide when you need to end the encounter before it spirals. That decision-making is what makes the character feel like Naruto. He does not have a predictable damage pattern. He escalates when the fight demands it. He survives when he should drop. He wins fights that looked bad 3 rounds ago because he refused to lose. The build also works in a party. You are not a solo carry. You are a frontline threat who creates space for your allies. Your echo locks down enemies so your rogue can get sneak attack. Your teleport lets you intercept attacks meant for your wizard. Your consistent damage helps your party confirm kills before enemies get their next turn. You are not the main character. You are playing a character whose fantasy is being the main character, and there is a difference. The build works because it does its job without demanding the spotlight. It does its job loudly. It does its job, obviously. But it does not break the table or force the DM to rewrite encounters around you. The ending of this comes down to one realization. Naruto is not strong because he has the best techniques. He is strong because he refuses to stop. He does not have the most damage. He does not have the best defense. He has the most momentum. He takes every advantage, every opening, every mistake the enemy makes, and he turns it into pressure that does not relent. That is what this build does. You are not optimized to win any specific fight. You are built to make every fight harder for the enemy than it is for you. You are built to turn the enemy's damage into wasted actions. You are built to escalate when the fight gets desperate. You are built to refuse to drop when the math says you should be dead. When you play this character, you are not counting damage per round. You are counting how many bad choices you force the enemy to make. You are counting how many turns they spent reacting instead of executing their plan. You are counting how many times they thought they had you and you were still standing. That is the metric. That is the win condition. Naruto does not win by being perfect. He wins by being relentless. You are building a character who plays the same way. You flood the field. You take the hits. You keep swinging. The fight ends when the enemy runs out of answers, and you are designed to be the question they cannot solve.